Hi guys, thank you so much for joining me. So we're on week 1 of a step-by-step guide to card making for beginners. So in this episode I am going to go over supplies, design and finding inspiration. Now it's very basic because it is for beginners, and I will try my hardest to cover as much as possible. I'll try out and also reference certain things that we're going to cover next week. So if you're joining me as this is premiering at 9 o'clock, I will try my best to be here to comment, but I'm not sure what my actual family plans are this evening, so we'll need to wait and see. Right, so if you've been asking yourself, how do I make a handmade card? Or how does a beginner start a hobby making handmade cards? And you're not sure where to start, hopefully you're watching this, so that's really good. This is a 7-part series over 7 weeks, every Saturday at 9 p.m. You don't need to be there at 9 p.m. to watch it, that's when it goes live. You can watch it anytime on catch up. And basically, I am Trisha Smith and I am a Scottish independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in Thornton, Kirkcaldy, which is in Fife, which is kind of central Scotland. Central East, rather. So let's get started. So what do you need to make a handmade card? There are basic supplies that you'll need, such as, these are obvious ones, scissors, you'll need some glue, you will need a ruler or some sort of measuring instrument, you will need some cardstock, okay, so this is cardstock I'm using today to show you the basics. This is very vanilla, it's called. You will also need an ink pad. Best thing to do is start with black. So that would be your starting point for an ink pad. To stamp, you need a stamp set. So one I would recommend, there's a couple I would recommend, is ones that have quite a few sentiments in them, and it means you can mix and match for any occasion. So one's itty bitty birthdays and one's genuine gems. And you'll find in the blog links to view these items in more detail to get more information on them, okay? And you would also need a stamping block. Okay, everything you can buy in your local craft store, online, you know, your usual online craft stores, etc. And you could also buy them from my 24/7 online shop, my Stampin'Up shop. I'll link everything during this blog and at the end. There's also various links to other things in my website that you're on today. One thing that I may have forgot to type in the blog is have some sort of cloth or cleaning tool or a baby wipe or something to clean your stamps, to remove that ink, and that saves it going all over your fingers. Okay, so we've got our basic supplies, so I'll just pop them out the road. Okay, so what you need is a card base. Now you can actually buy these already pre-made, oopsie, and pre-scored. You can get them in my online shop, but today I'm showing you how to do it by yourself using A4 card. So what I done was I cut, now that's why you will need a ruler or scissors. We'll look at other cutting and measuring equipment and stuff next week, but these are just the basics for someone starting that's not got a lot. So you would cut it down. This is a 4 inches by 6 inches card. Okay, so it measures 8 inches by 6, and then I folded it in half. You could measure it to 4 inches, mark it and fold it or whatever, or just simply fold it in half. Easy peasy. So that is your card base. So this is kind of A6 size. Now there is, obviously when you're creasing paper, you want some sort of instrument to fold down that crease line really good. You could use your ruler. There's also a tool called the bone folder, but we'll speak more about all that next week, okay? So that comes in handy for creasing your lines and getting a nice sharp edge. Whatever way you do it, you're going to get your card anyway. Now this will fit in a C6 envelope. There are other sizes of cards that you can make, and will fit in other envelopes such as a DL size, you know, the standard letter envelopes, or A5, which is half of A4, or some people even make A4 cards, which are massive. So, right, so that's your card. Now, I'm going to talk now about card layers. Now, I've used a cardstock colour called Pumpkin Pie, just so you can see the contrast, okay? So when we talk about card layers, that is an additional layer of card or fancy paper, which is known as designer series paper or DSP. And DSP is a pre-printed cardstock or paper. Okay, so you can layer a card just with this contrasting colour. Okay, so that's your matte layer. Most people will add a stamping layer that you can stamp on or add things onto. And if you look, you will see that I like to leave an 1/8 of an inch kind of gradual step in between each layer. So this is 4x6. This one measures 3 7/8 by 5 7/8. And then this one is, let me see, forgot what that is. It's an 1/8 of an inch smaller, which is 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. Yep. So that is your different layers. So that's what it looks like when you've used cardstock as the background layer. Some people may like to use a 2/8 of an inch border. So just showing you this Mango Melody colour now. You make a bigger border or bigger increment in between layers if you want to show off more of the cardstock or the paper that's behind there. Now I'll show you quickly what it looks like with DSP, designer series paper. So here's a piece of the regals. All the products I use are available in my online shop. Now, if you're using DSP, it's no point in covering it fully with another piece. So you would use the smaller stamping size, which is 1/4 of an inch all the way around, shorter than the actual card. And you can see the contrast there as well. Right, so that is all about layers. Obviously, to attach these layers, you would use your glue. There's other types of glue as well, such as double-sided tape that you could put on and adhere. You could use whatever you like. Okay, so that's our card layers. And by using DSP as your first matte layer, remember that's the matte, this is a stamping layer, this gives the card a focal point straight away. Sometimes all you need is actually DSP on the card with a sentiment or something. So they're really easy cards. Okay. I often add a layer like this because then I can stamp images onto it in matching colours. You can step it up by making it more three-dimensional by using these bad boys, which are dimensionals or double-sided foam shapes, and you could add them onto this layer to stand it up so that it's a thicker card, and it just gives it another dimension and a little extra bit of height. So what we're going to do, we're going to use this, you'll see most DSPs are actually double-sided too, but we'll go into more detail about designer series paper, etc. next week. This is just the basics, just to show you. So I'm just going to pop that on there, and you know that it's an 1/8 of an inch border all the way around, so that helps to place it. We also have the stamping layer, which I'm going to pop right onto my card. Some people like to stamp on it first and then adhere it to the card, but for today I'm just going to pop it right on there. So that side has DSP on it, and it's upside down, sorry. Is it? No, it's not. I had it the right way. Now I'm going to just attach on the other side to see, let you see what it looks like just with cardstock on there. So that's a little 1/8 of an inch border, like so. And we have our stamping layer, which is 1/8 of an inch shorter on length and width too. So there's one look and there's another look, and you can see they're quite different. Now once you have your stamping layer on, you may want to just simply stamp onto the card. So I'm just going to show you. I'm going to stamp this on a card using the block. You need a stamping block. And I spoke about the coordinating colours, so because this is pumpkin pie, I am going to use pumpkin pie to show you. So this is a really easy card. So you just add enough ink, like so. And it's always good to use coordinating colours because they're there, they're available, and you don't need to do anything else really. And that is as easy and simple as a card can be. Now I've just accidentally got some ink on there, so I'm just going to quickly add another layer. Hang on a wee second. Okay, I'm back. Right, I am just, because I made a little boo-boo there, I'm just going to attach this Mango Melody layer on. Now, people make mistakes, people drop cardstock in ink. I'm really bad for it, as you can tell, but that's just down to my issues with grip and paying attention to what's going on around me. So yes, so that's that fixed. So it's easy to fix mistakes, as you can see there. Now, this is a sentiment greeting. This is what we call that. And there's other ways that you can add sentiments or greetings. So I'm just going to show you another mat and layer. Now, this is a shorter piece of the same cardstock. Okay, I'm going to put it on this way. And I have measured that out the same width as this card. Now, that's the bottom layer, and then the top layer is the stamping layer. And that basically is a matte and layered sentiment section. So, I'm just going to add a little bit glue. You never need a lot. If it's a good glue, it is going to stick. Okay, so there's sentiment. You could also make a circular sentiment. You could draw around something that's circular, and then something smaller, or you can draw it and cut it out. There are tools and whatnot that I use to make these circular ones, but we'll talk about that next week. So there's two sentiments. So this one I'm going to add on here. Now this card in itself is enough, but I want to show you another part. So I told the universe to send some awesome your way, and I'm going to do Let's Celebrate You. So these sets are good because there is a lot of options. In fact, I'm going to use Happy Birthday actually. Now it's a good idea to clean your stamps as you go and pop them away. Right, so let's see. I'm just going to pop that on there. You don't need a lot of ink, especially not the Stampin'Up ink. So there's a little sentiment. And let's pick one for this circular area. Now you need to say to yourself, which one will fit in here? And I'm going to go with Happy Belated Birthday. Now, just need to get that out. Again, I'm stamping in the coordinating ink, which is the same colour. I'm just going to pop that in the middle. And you can see there's different fonts different finishes depending on the stamps that you're using. Some of the counterfeit stamps that you might see out there you think's really cheap, but trust me, when you get them, they're absolutely rubbish. But that's all down to preference. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to layer that up here, down here rather. Yep. And I'm going to use dimensionals. I just spoke about that. So, you can get foam pads anywhere, but I choose to use the Stampin'Up brand because I am a Stampin'Up demonstrator, and I think these products are the best. I'm so biased, aren't I? So, I'm just going to pop that on there in line like so. So there is a raised sentiment layer. Now for this one here, I'm going to stick it in the bottom right hand corner. And I am also going to use some dimensionals, just to give it a little bit of height. But you don't need to, you can just stick it down. If you don't have foam pads, just pop it down with glue. So there is another sentiment area. So that's what sentiment areas are. There is also another step that you can take. Another one of the basics is to use some, say some ribbon on your card, or some baker's twine. You could use that on your card, anywhere you like. Once you're a little bit more advanced, you will learn eventually to kind of stick it under the layers before you adhere it down and then tie it, etc. Okay, so I'm just going to do a quick little bow now and stick it on the card, just to let you see, for example, like so. Cute little bow, cute. Okay, let me get my scissors. So you always need these to hand, your scissors and your glue, and be very careful with your scissors, obviously. Right, now I want to stick this down with another type of adhesive, which is glue dots. Glue dots are just mini dots of glue, basically. Don't know if you could see in there. Okay, so I am simply going to grab a glue dot. I've rolled it in my fingers a little bit because this is a small bow. Okay, so you can see we've added that with a little glue dot. So that's another adhesive that you can use. Okay, right, so so I have a ribbon here, all different types of ribbon. Let me show you this polka tool ribbon, and I will do a little bow on here. What I'm going to do with this one though is I'm going to put it in the inside of my card. This is how easy it is. I'm going to pop it in the inside of my card like so, and tie a little bow like so. Now what I'll do, I'm not the best at doing bows, I told you I wasn't an expert, is I will then just chop off the excess ribbon, and look how pretty that is in itself with just cardstock, etc. Okay, so I'll take that off for now because this is a sample card. I'm not using all that ribbon for one card. Okay, so that is kind of the basics of a card. Very easy to do. A lot of people do like to add an insert into their card, and basically that is just the same size as a card but an 1/8 of an inch shorter both sides. And the reason it's like that is so that you can put it inside your card like so, and it's not going to overlap. Now it gets a bit tricky trying to open this up, so a tip would be to put adhesive down here. Now I'm just going to use wet adhesive, just a little bit there. And once that dries, what it will do is every time you open up the card, it will automatically open it up to see the inside. Okay, so that's quite good as well. Alright, so that is that. So that's basic, starting from scratch. There is another option which is easy, and that is to purchase a card, all-inclusive card making kit. I'll link some examples below just to let you see what is included in those. You can buy them online, you could buy them in my store. They usually come with cards, pre-made cards, envelopes, embellishments. Some have a stamp set and pre-cut die-cut areas, you know, like these wee bits are already cut out for you. Some even come with an ink pot too, which is a little mini one. All you would need is your glue, scissors and some imagination. So I will link in this blog and below a link to the blog, and then you could go from there if you want to have a little look at some of the lovely goods. So you're thinking, yep, I could make a basic card now, but where can I find extra inspiration? We all, as crafters, look all over the place for inspiration. We're constantly on social media platforms such as Pinterest, YouTube, Google. If you type in handmade cards, you will get millions of examples. You'll also find a whole load, sorry, that's my Scottish twang coming out, a whole load of tutorials on this website as well. So please take the time to have a little browse. And if you have any questions or anything, please don't hesitate to send me a PM or an email or text me or whatever. All my details are in the contact page. So leading on from inspiration, there are various places that you can look. Now in my blog I've linked, and also linked down in this description, is a link to my Facebook page, my Twitter, my Instagram, my Pinterest, my Facebook Crafty Stampin' Club group. Everybody's welcome to that, whether you're new, avid or a casual crafter. I have also linked to my YouTube channel where you will see all the lovely projects and inspiration in there as well. And I will say though that when you do start card making, we've all done it. We've all bought the cheap brands. We've bought off this place, bought off that place, and you've got a big pile of stock and you don't know what the hang to do with it. That's what I was like. And then I found Stampin'Up, and I've never touched another craft supply, which is good, because sometimes it's really, really hard to think of things to design, but the brand that I like to use, Stampin'Up, it does all the hard work for you, because everything coordinates. That coordinates with that cardstock, that coordinates with that ink, these embellishments will go with anything, this ribbon goes with anything, you know what I mean? All the hard work is actually done for you. And I think that's why I've excelled in the number of projects that I'm doing, is because it is easier, and you're not taking that whole, let's spend hours on the internet looking for inspiration and still not being able to make anything. So you will also see links in my blog for one of my Team Smithy ladies who's running our own Stampin'Up business as a demonstrator, so I've linked her in there. I'm part of my upline Amanda's Team Scrimpy, which is a great group of teammates. So I have linked some of their blog posts below as well. I had to ask them permission first. But as usual, all links to external sites, you do that obviously at your own risk, because I'm not responsible for what anybody else has on their website, etc, etc. So although I have been in all them and they're all safe, trust me, but I just had to say that just in case. So yeah, have a look through my website, have a look through my teammates' website, subscribe to our channels, follow us on Pinterest, follow us on Instagram, and conversate with us. you know, ask anything that you would like to ask. Okay, so I hope that's been okay for you. I've just got one last thing before I go, and it's just to show you some example cards. If you're new to this channel, you will not have seen these. And we're going to touch on, next week we're touching on, it's techniques, equipment and terminology as such. So I just want to show you different cards. This is a stamp your own background technique. This one is using card layers differently and fussy cutting. Okay. This one here, again, it's different layers, and it's just showing you how you can stamp, cut out and add extra embellishments. This one here is a stamped strip of the own DSP that I made with some raised up sentiments and punched out die cuts. A little butterfly there. We'll talk about punches and die cutting next week as well. And this one's just really to show you how everything coordinates. You know, the designer series paper in the background goes with the cardstock. The greens go with all that. You know, it is really an easy brand to work with. And this one is a handmade card just using designer series paper and one stamp. So lots of things to think about and lots of things to see for next week. So please do come back next Saturday. Let me know your thoughts. Ask any questions. If I have time to answer them, I will endeavour to do that. And I'll include some answers to your questions in next week's video. So thank you so much. Like I say, next week is techniques, equipment and terminology. So I hope that you do come back. This may be, I know this for a matter of fact, this will be very basic for the majority of the subscribers on this channel. However, if there is one new person out there that this will benefit, then this is worth doing. Right guys, I'll speak to you soon, and thanks again. Ta-ra!